Here is K2EFG on the olive grove of the old Tzora village. This is a village, the biblical location where Samson the Great was born. Behind me you can see some ruins right there. This used to be an Arab village and later on an Israeli town, and then the town moved away from here because of the arid land. You can see it's actually fairly lush. I'm in the olive grove, historic olive groves. You can see that these are remnants of historical buildings that are behind me. This location dates back to biblical time. That is wonderful. However, you see this end-fed antenna with my station over there. It is not a suitable place for radio, at least not for an end-fed antenna. I've tried a few configurations, a few directions. It could be also that I'm in the middle of the day, so it's possible that I'm not broadcasting under ideal conditions, but I got nothing. I could hear some stations from Echo Alpha and from Italy and from United Alpha, but that's where it ended. So I'm going to pack up this, remember this fondly as a location, a biblical location, but not a radio location. I had initially a thought of going up this structure here, but it is closed. As you can see, it is being renovated. Here's, for example, what appears to be a carved area. This may have been a quarry or some other historical location. And there are some olives and some other fruit-bearing trees here. The town or the village is the village of Tzora. This is again the biblical location of Samson the Great, however, not for radio. So there's no such thing as a failed experiment. It can always serve as a negative proof. In this case, we can prove that this location is not ideal for radio. Although historically it has been ideal. It's been a god town, a town that washed over the valley, which we cannot see, but it's down there. And it has a strategic location with an overlooking the road from Beersheba to Jerusalem, and across the valley is of course the town of Beit Shemesh. This is a town that is also mentioned in the Bible as one of the places where the travels from Egypt to Jerusalem had encountered some battles. It's been a strategic location ever since, and it still is a very beautifully overlooking mountains. The low hills of Jerusalem are here behind us, and not great location for radio. So instead of wasting my time, I will try a different location somewhere else, more westerly and northerly facing, without some of the trees. I'll see what I can do. In the meanwhile, saying 73, here's K2EFG in 4 X-ray. Alrighty, this is a new location, ever so slightly about a kilometer, about a mile or three quarters of a mile away. You can see the station right behind me. Let me see, let's do it against the sun so you can see it. Here is the station. You can see it's on top of a rock. It's actually not a rock, it is a statue. This is called the Statue Road. You can see over there, there's another one right over there. And the whole road circles around the mountains, and it's been installed with stone statues all over. Here is the antenna, installed kind of hastily because I don't have time. In Israel, coffee hour is kind of a sacred religion, and what we do is we get to coffee. So I got to go to my Aunt Pam, who just came back from overseas, and have her coffee. One thing I did differently here is I've used the Buddy Pole power here from A123 battery from Buddy Pole, and it's kind of romantic the way it sits on the rock. Notice I didn't really have to ground it. The ground is simply the ground, and I've secured the rope with secures the antenna with rope. It's suspended. It's an end-fed antenna suspended. You can see these flowers here. These are wild These are wild mustard. When I grew up in this area, wild mustard, you can just pick it up and eat. The rainy season has just ended, and the flowering season has just begun, and the wild mushroom is out, mustard is just out in force. Behind me you can see the end of the antenna. Where is it? Here it is, just packed up, and over there the other end, and it's on top of this rock formation, which is man-made as a statue. It's known as it's called as folding in time. That's how this space is. So it's kind of new and old. This little village here is named after the father of the great Samson in the Bible, the biblical Samson. His name was Zanoah, and this village is known as Zanoah. And these are the hills where Samson the Great had marched. We were over there in that mountain area there. Not a lot of good reception. I did very well here. I spoke first time for Turkey, Tango Alpha 2, also Ireland, and another stations as well in Europe. Not a great amount of success, but some degree of success, better than before. I also used the A123 batteries that you can see right behind me, and they were helpful. I was trying to use car battery. I think the car has introduced a lot of noise into the mix. Even though I have a noise suppressor, it didn't really seem to have helped. So I went back to using battery. This is a very quick installation. Did this very quickly, and did a few QSOs, maybe 5 of them all told. And now I'm going to head to my aunt, have a cup of coffee, and enjoy the rest of the evening. I might come back to this spot tonight. It's going to be Sunday night, but I hope to get some Europeans and some other stations. These are the low hills of Judea, just west of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is to our west over there, and I'm facing basically west northwest towards Europe and Turkey. So with that, I wish you all 7-3 and take care. Kilo 2 Echo Foxtrot Golf in 4 X-ray. Here's the antenna again. Here's the station again, just from a different angle, just a little better. You can see it now with the A123 battery sitting here on top of the rock, the FT857, and the Yesu tuner. So that's the setup.